What's going on, fam? I'm Josh. You can call me Anoriand, and today we have a special pre-launch look at Lost Eidolons, the first major release of new developer Ocean Drive Games. I'll start by disclosing that I was provided a pre-release code for the Steam release of the game, but have been provided nothing other than the game for my time and thoughts. Also, all footage captured will be for the Steam release on my PC. And with that out of the way, let's march.
No matter what it takes, we're going to survive and avenge him.
To begin with, I want to first stress that Lost Eidolons is the first major project of new indie gaming studio Ocean Drive Games. The company was founded with a mission of providing superb single-player experiences. Did they achieve that with Lost Eidolons? Overall, I'd say so. Lost Eidolons is a strategy RPG. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna bill it as what if Fire Emblem Three Houses was made with Dragon Age assets. Honestly, a lot of the individual pieces that make up this game have very direct and clear inspiration from somewhere else. But just like how games like Immortals Phoenix Rising or Darksiders can have inspirations that are clear but still stand as excellent games on their own, the question is whether Lost Eidolons transcends its inspiration. Let's break it all down. The story revolves around Eden, a mercenary from Luneta, located in the land of Artemisia. Together with his friends Francisco, Leon, Robert, and Robin, the group decides to try and save the sister of a woman who comes to them begging for help from a local noble. This leads to a prison break, a major battle, and eventually the whole team joining the revolutionary efforts of another man trying to rise up against the emperor of this apparent world. There's plenty of intrigue and political maneuvering and lore and blah 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 blah. See, the story is by and large standard on its own, and it's not something I want to go at length on, though to be fair, that criticism also applies to a lot of games like Fire Emblem. It doesn't do anything new or wild. What is worth talking about is the characters. Between excellent voice acting with such standout professionals as Joe Zija, Cassandra Morris, Brittany Cox, and more, and a script that is filled to the brim with opportunities, the characters are all excellent. Eden is charming and heroic, but also calculating, and very much so of the mindset of doing what is just, while also watching out for himself and for his people. Francisco is the big, brash friend everyone wishes they had. Leon may seem like a grump, and so wildly opposite of Joe Zija's prior standout role of Claude in Fire Emblem Three Houses, funny enough, but you scratch away at the surface and you see the heart and the care he has, and you can't help but love him. Even characters that should seem one note in a game like this, such as Robin, who tends to be optimistic and a bit of a ladies' man, show signs of dynamic approach within the very first few chapters. You become invested in the story, not because of the story itself, but because of who is in it. And I argue that's a good thing. It makes you stay invested throughout, regardless of the twists and turns, because the characters are so well done. You're there for the pieces, and the whole ends up working great because of it. The gameplay is, as I said, a lot of stuff you've seen. It's a top-down view tactical RPG. Units have various classes, they gain experience as they take actions in both regular levels and skill levels. Those skill levels unlock new abilities, and while they're at it, they unlock more advanced classes. There are different weapons that are better or worse against different types of armor and the like. It's solid, and I kind of like that it didn't seek to completely reinvent the wheel, because what they actually did was take a lot of Three Houses formula, strip away a small number of things, and in so doing create a really well-honed experience. So unlike in its inspiration, there is no double attacking based on, say, a speed stat, but combat does still have counterattacks when units fight from ranges where both can hit. There is a small chance of critical hits for extra damage or a guard to lower damage, but both are very rare, never really exceeding 5 to 7%. Skills do exist to do things like increase damage, but one-shotting is still rare, and skills get far more useful for secondary effects. Things like Taunting Strike, which can force an enemy to attack the user. What all of this leads to is a strategy game where the complexity is in fighting efficiently with what resources you have available, and it is very well tuned for that. I've been playing strategy RPGs since the PlayStation 1. They're one of my favorite genres, and I found many turns where I sat and thought and pored over the way to position my troops' movement and attacks to ensure that no one died in battle the following turn while moving efficiently and quickly. That's another thing this game has going for it. There are 3 selectable difficulties, with story, which is the easiest, normal, and then hard, as well as a separate setting for a casual playthrough where units fall and come back at the end of the chapter, or a maniac playthrough where once characters die in battle, they're dead for the rest of the game. Adding those different sliders separately allows you to really fine-tune your experience to your desired level of challenge. I played on normal mode with maniac setting myself for my first run, but I likely see myself going back through and replaying on hard after beating it. Additionally, maps have turn limits to them, but you do have the ability to undo and go earlier in the map, going back move by move. You have a certain amount of uses, though no matter how many moves back you go, a single use is a single use. So even if you go back 10 actual characters' actions, that's still one usage. Combining all of that together gives you a lot of tools to play with. Amidst all this, there's a camp where you can run around, talk to campmates, raise your rapport with them, which can unlock new dialogue moments, and also have them do things like boost damage or critical hit rate to other nearby comrades in battle, buy things from a shop, take part in small side quests, and things like that. This is also where you can change characters' classes, set their spells, buy and change equipment. There's a lot here. For an indie game, it is dense with content, and it's absolutely worth its time and value for people who try to make sure there's a balance there. As far as the presentation, I do enjoy the graphical style. It fits a bit of a grainy and grim fantasy aesthetic with simpler designs, but it isn't completely afraid to run from color or light. Spells are still very bright with lots of particle effects. Wizard robes can be purples and greens. Knights can have blue sashes. It's very traditional, but with enough color palette to stand out. I've already mentioned the voice work is incredible, and the music is fine, if not superb. It fits the ambient mood of the game, and it definitely enhances the gameplay and doesn't detract, but I wouldn't say it's as incredible as some major titles. It's good. There are plenty of settings and options here. Lots of ways to slow or speed up combat, skip enemy turns. It has fully rebindable controls built around just keyboard and mouse, or usage of a gamepad, and there's plenty of graphical and audio tuning. There's no color blindness filters, and it's not necessarily the most accessible, but there is a good bit here to work with, so it's definitely better than the standard. For an overall summary, Lost Eidolons is a brand new IP from a brand new company. There's nothing here to drive loyalty or nostalgia, but the game stands out for what it is, and it's absolutely worth your time. It's a 30 to 50 hour campaign, depending on how completionist you get with it, with plenty of replayability via different challenges within the systems, going on harder difficulties, and the like. It's a deep, dense game that is worth your time, either on PC or early next year in 2023 when it's going to release on Xbox consoles. It doesn't redefine the wheel, but it absolutely spins that wheel well and keeps you engaged throughout. I've been having a blast with it. And whether you're an experienced tactical RPG player who needs a new fix, or someone who wants an accessible way to step into the genre, this game fills the sheet on both ends, and it deserves an opportunity. Lost Eidolons gets an 8 out of 10. And I can't wait to see what else Ocean Drive Studios comes up with. This was a great use of my time, and to be frank, I'm gonna head back in and show people just what Francisco the Bold is all about. As a quick aside before moving on to the outro, I just want to take a moment to honor the memory of Billy Kometz, an incredible voice actor, an inspirational person, and great guy who voiced Robin and unfortunately passed before the release of this game. Billy, you were an excellent guy. I'll always treasure the advice you gave me, and I hope you're at peace on the other side. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button and maybe leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on the game. I'd love to get other opinions. Maybe tell me if you see anything specifically that you're interested in. What are your standout moments? If you did pick it up, what's your thing? What you got? What you doing? What's going on? While you're at it, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from me. We have content rolling out very shortly, and I'm very excited for the relaunch of the channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, folks. I'm Josh. You can call me Anoriand, and I'll catch you next time.